All right, I think the stream's behaving now. We'll see how this goes. It was just eating on my CPU just a few minutes ago. And, all right, it's been a while since I've been on here, so let me know if I do anything silly like forget to unmute my mic, or if the audio levels are way off, or if the font sizes are too small, anything like that. And welcome back, everybody. I recognize a few of you in the chat from past streams, so nice to see you all again. All right. So I've got a project for today. So I'm going to be trying to update elm-html-test, which is for testing your HTML views and things like that in Elm, and basically update this package for Elm 19. The goal for this, we're going to be incorporating elm-html-test into the new Elm package for testing, which is just elm-explorations/test. So elm-html-test, basically our goal today is going to be to move the code from elm-html-test into elm-test itself, so that it's all kind of one unified package. Noah, who is the original author of elm-html-test, has been busy with some other projects lately, so I'm going to try to pick up some of the slack there and hopefully get Elm 19 in a state that is usable in production apps pretty soon. So yeah, feel free to say hi, ask questions, or chat amongst yourself, whatever you're interested in the chat today. And I'm hoping I've got several future projects also lined up in my to-do list, so I'm hoping to try to start doing at least maybe one stream a week. I'm not going to have a set schedule yet, and I think I'll probably end up getting most of these up onto YouTube as well. I'll see how that goes. But I'm going to hopefully have some more time in the next several months to do some more occasional streaming. Also, I'm still collecting my list of other functional programming and Elm streamers. So if you know of good folks who are doing online coding, feel free to drop a note in the chat. All right, so let's get started then. I guess I'm going to need my terminal first. And what do we have? I don't think I have elm-explorations test checked out. So let's grab that first and make sure we can run the test suite for that. All right, we've got the URL. We will clone that. Let's see. All right. And I've been using Visual Studio Code lately. I kind of like it because it has this embedded terminal in here as well, and is pretty much ready to go out of the box. Although I guess we'll see how well the Elm plugins are updated for Elm 19. Okay, do we have development instructions in here? I don't see any. Publishing. Okay, I'm assuming this is all done with npm. Okay, so let's try npm install and npm test and see if that will run tests for us. So did any of you all in the chat get to ElmConf this year? I didn't get to make it this year, but I heard there are a lot of good talks, which I think they all just got published online. But I haven't had a chance to watch any of them yet. Okay, tests passed. Great, and it looks like that builds the documentation, runs some test script, then runs Elm format. Okay, and what does the test script do? The test script cleans everything, sets up a temporary Elm home. Oh yeah, okay, this is stuff I worked on a few months ago for the initial release of elm-test for Elm 0.19. We basically have to make a fake Elm package cache because we need this package itself to be available for the tests. And then, okay, and then since this is the test for elm-test itself, we can't actually use elm-test in its tests, so we have this extra weird code where we kind of just execute the compiled JavaScript directly. Okay, cool. I am starting to remember this stuff. Okay, I think next let's try downloading elm-html-test and see what state that's in, and then we can try start moving stuff over into this project and hopefully get all the tests merged and get all the modules merged as well. So let's check that out in another folder. Whoops. Oh, here's the window. Okay, this one. Let me move this over here. Let's close. I guess we can open the docs here. I'm not going to need the docs for elm-test. And I think we're done with this for now. Okay, here's the source code. I might have this checked out. Nope, not yet. Okay. HTML test. This is where I wish Visual Studio Code had an easy way to like set a slightly different color scheme in each window so I could keep them apart visually. Let's put this one here and this one here. All right, so this has a Travis file. What does this do? This uses NVM to install a particular version of Node. Let's see, what version of Node do we have here? Node 10, okay, great. And this, okay, this npm installs some specific stuff and then runs elm-test. Okay, so let's try doing that here. I'm going to kind of make a package.json for this just so that we can do this more quickly rather than typing these all out manually if we need to rerun this. So let's npm init, and then we will npm install save dev, and we will do elm at, and this was 0.18. And if this was using Elm format exp, that was really version 0.7.1. So let's install that here. Oh, is that the wrong version? Okay, what are those versions called? npm dist tag ls elm format. Oh, that just shows the latest versions. Okay. Let's check what version of Elm format that would have been. Versions. Oh, 0.7.0. Okay. Hey Arkham, how's it going? Good to see you again. Yeah, I was busy with a lot of other stuff the last few months, but it's good to finally have a chance to get back on here again. Okay, so we're going to install this version of Elm format and then elm-test beta. I'm not sure which version that would have referred to. Oh, great. Glad you're doing well. Yeah, I'm doing good at the moment. I am excited to have some time to do some more Elm stuff on the side. Okay, Elm test. Elm test versions. Ooh, 90 versions. Okay, beta 2, 8.13. I'm gonna assume it's this version that elm-html-test was using. I guess we'll see if there's problems with that. So, let's install. Whoops. We are going to install Elm test version 0.18.13 beta 2. Yeah, I forget who of you introduced me to Puffin Fresh, his Twitch channel. Ryan McKenna. He's been doing some cool streaming lately of building a Sonic the Hedgehog game in Haskell, which I've only caught his stream a few times recently, but he's been doing quite a lot recently. Let's see. Okay, and VS Code is complaining because there's thousands of new files in node modules, so let's add that to the git ignore. And then can we refresh this? There we go. Okay, cool. Okay, so now if we npx elm format validate dot, that passes. And if we npx elm test, does this pass? Well, it's compiling. That's a good sign. Yes, using Vim inside of the console in VS Code. I guess I could have just clicked it here and added it. I don't know. I always just edit the git ignore file from the terminal for some reason. Okay. Cool. So I guess I'm just gonna commit this on whatever branch this is. Let me make a branch for myself. Git checkout-b, move to elm-explorations test. And I'm also going to ignore the package lock. That's maybe debatable, but I've just been doing that here because the versions that we actually use shouldn't really matter, and they're only dev dependencies anyway. Okay, and I guess we can do one last thing and add this stuff as a test script in the package.json. So we will elm format validate and elm test. Actually, let's do it the other way around, because I would rather see the test failures first before the formatting errors. Oh, no need to use vi. Yeah, just do echo and append it to git ignore. Yeah, I usually like to just double check the whole file because sometimes it's like supposed to be, I don't know, sometimes people put typos and thought they added it, so I usually end up cleaning it up. So I like to look at it instead of just blindly appending lines to it. Although I guess I would see it in the git diff when I add stuff. Okay, so now if we run npm test, great. We've got everything going. And we could technically probably simplify the Travis YAML for the CI build to use the npm test script, but since we're not really maintaining it, I just want to commit this locally for repeatability in case we don't finish today. All right. Git commit. Actually, well, I guess we can check this in a second. I'm not sure what my author information is set to for Git right now. All right. Git commit. Add package.json and npm test script. Cool. And I'm probably not going to make a PR for this. I'm just keeping this locally for myself. All right. Well, what do we have in this? There's an examples folder. Oh, interesting, which it has its own Travis YAML. I guess that's just an example of how to run tests in CI. Okay, we don't need to look at that in detail. Got node modules. Okay, we've got the source. So we have, oh, okay. And I'm also remembering now, and if we look in Elm package JSON, we can see this. Yes, okay. This elm-html-test is actually split across 3 packages. So there's elm-html in Elm, which, let's check what that does real quick. I believe what this does is it's like a tool that does the conversion from HTML into JSON and then decodes that JSON. Whoops. Oh, interesting. It didn't even find the right thing in the search results. I'm just blindly clicking it. A pure Elm representation of Elm HTML. Okay, interesting. So what does this have in it? This is, I guess, just a data type that represents all the things you can represent in HTML except they're visible. Okay, so I think we'll have to move this over also into elm-explorations test. And then we also have this one, which I guess is like the lower level stuff for the queries and selectors. Let's see, github.com/that. Query things using that. Okay, and this depends on elm-html in Elm. Ooh, that's kind of hard to say. Okay, so oh, and there's only one file in here. Great. Okay, so I'm assuming probably all 3 of these will need to get pulled in. And here it depends on that too. Great. Okay, this one has native code, so we'll have to convert the native code for Elm 19. Does this one have native code? No. And does this one have native code? Looks like no. Okay. Okay. And then there's tests here. So I think, I guess there's the Elm upgrade script also. Maybe we should try running the Elm upgrade script on this, and then try moving the tests over into the other project, and then start see what's failing, and probably we'll just be pulling these other modules over. And I guess probably we'll have to pull the other packages over before they'll compile. So I guess let's try that. npx elm upgrade. Oh, do I have it installed globally? I guess I have an old version. Let's see, can we do latest? Okay, found Elm there. Elm-19 is required, but found that. Okay, so that's fine. I guess we can npm install save dev elm-o.19.0. Okay, and that looks like it did not work. What went wrong here? Oh, this has a bunch of old modules. Okay, let's clear the node modules. Let's also remove the package lock. And let's try installing elm-19 into this folder, kind of from scratch. Yeah, okay, that worked. So if we npx elm now, that is the elm-19 binary. Okay, cool. So now if we npx elm upgrade, the latest version, I think this will fail now, saying we have an old version of Elm format. Yeah, okay. So now we can npm install save dev Elm format for Elm o19. Whoops, npm install. Ooh, my terminal is not highlighting things in the right place. npm install save dev elm format at elm-o.19.0. Okay. How is that on my path? Huh, I guess that's put on my path by npx when I am running npx elm upgrade. Apparently it's putting node modules.bin folder onto the path when it's running stuff, which is good. But it's kind of surprising. Oh, sorry, elm upgrade. Okay, so we're gonna add that dependency. Great. We are adding that dependency. Great. Adding that. Yeah, elm-19 doesn't have a yes option anymore, so I couldn't automate all these yeses in the Elm upgrade script. Okay, and then we have this checklist, and I believe it also saved this checklist here in this upgrade log. Okay, cool. So we have the checklist here of some things we may need to do manually. Let's take a look at what changed, if anything. Let's see, do I have fork? Cool. All right, so what did we change here? Or what did Elm upgrade change? Okay, so it exposed everything, it adds some blank spaces. What is this? Is this in the documentation? I'm assuming? Ah, okay, so we should check on this. Query internal. Ah, yeah, okay. This is supposed to be a code block, but it wasn't indented properly. And there. Ooh, okay. A lot of stuff is not formatted. Oh, actually, which Elm format version do we have right now? 0.8.1. Okay, cool. Cool. Okay. So we fixed that code block in the documentation. This becomes mod by. Okay, that looks good. I guess I should just add this stuff as we go. Same thing here, we expose everything and add blank spaces between else blocks. Okay, these are now grouped based on the module documentation rather than always being on separate lines. This is the new escape syntax for Unicode characters in Elm-19, and the tuple function is gone. Okay, that all looks good. Same thing here, these are grouped. There's an extra line at the beginning of modules. Okay, grouped, lines between if clauses. Okay, and that's exposed. That's exposed, those are exposed. Everything gets exposed. And same thing here. Okay. And then this is the new Elm file. Cool. Elm-test, I guess. We could try upgrading, see if it works. I doubt we'll actually be able to run the tests from this folder, but may as well try it just for completeness. npm install save dev elm-test elm-o19o. Oh, Martin mentions there's tuple.pair as a function. Yes. I think I'll just leave it with what Elm upgrade converts it to, which is just a lambda. That probably can get inline from the look of it. It was just a function that was doing what tuple.pair does. Anyway, let's see if elm-test runs. I'm not expecting this to work. Well, that was not the reason I was expecting it to fail for. Unexpected result from elm-make. npx elm-make. Oh, I see. Okay. Elm just doesn't like these dependencies because, well, mainly because these two haven't been upgraded for Elm-19. Okay, cool. So let's just check all this in as a temporary thing. And this file should be gone. Elm package.json. I think there's a bug in Elm upgrade. It's supposed to delete that file. And I'm not sure why it doesn't. Okay. So we run Elm upgrade. And now let's try pulling these tests over into the other repository. So we've got this tests folder, And these are all just independent test files, right? Okay. It looks like that's the case. Okay. And then this we shouldn't need anymore. And the Elm stuff folder we shouldn't need in Elm 19. Elm test will use the top level Elm stuff folder for the tests. And I guess all this stuff should just go into test source. Okay, npm test. Okay. So the tests for Elm test itself are kind of unusual because, like I mentioned earlier, it doesn't actually use Elm test to run the tests. So I think we have to add all of these to be listed here. So I guess let's call these elm-html-tests. And this will be describe and then I guess we want to pull in all of these things, and in particular everything in here. So we've got attributes, .all. It should probably be renamed, I guess. But I'd like to just get this working first. Descendant. So all is all the tests. What is this other stuff? Does this need to be exposed? Okay, those are not tests. So only all needs to be exposed. So descendant.all. What is in here? Events. This has all, but that's the only test. Okay, so this just should be all. Events.all. And queries, HTML tests, test root. What does this do? I see. This is running a batch of tests both against plain HTML and against lazy version of HTML. Okay, let's define an all here. And all equals describe queries HTML tests lazy tests. And all right, let me figure out why Elm format is not working in my editor. Let me check a new terminal. Oh, okay, so that's an old version of Elm format. So I guess I need to npm install -g elm format 0.19.0. Oops. The tag is elm 0.19.0. Okay, Elm format now is that, and that's the path. Let's make sure it's set up to use the right one. Okay, let's just do that for now. And do I not have format on save? Maybe that's the problem. Editor format on save. And we only want to do that, I think, for Elm, which I think we do like that. Okay, let's see if that works. There we go, cool. Okay, so now we've got queries.all, and we've got selectors. This has bug 13 and text selectors. Okay, let's add an all here also. Bug 13, I'm not sure. Oh, I guess that was the issue number. Bug 13, got it. Okay, so we've got that. Then we've got selectors.all, and we have test example is the last one. Okay, test example.all. And then we need to import all of these. All right. So I guess let's run this. I'm expecting this will not compile because this stuff, well, first of all, should be depending on the implementation code over here that we haven't moved over. And let's see, we've moved all this, so we can delete this folder. So we're going to need all these files. We'll also probably need files from those other modules, so this should not compile. But let's try it out. Does anyone else get a dopamine rush on the format on save? It's I think once it's set up and working, I tend to just take it for granted pretty quickly, I think. Although I guess it is nice when there's like, you have a big nasty chunk of code you just wrote and it doesn't format and you're trying to find the typo. And then as soon as you find the typo and fix it, it all reformats. That's a pretty good feeling. Okay, so test example was importing example app. Where did that even come from? That's from the examples folder. Huh. So what was going on here? Was this including... Oops. Oh, man. My terminal is all messed up. It thinks the beginning of the line is here for some reason. Something must be weird with my bash profile. Git diff that tests elm-package.json. Ah, I see. So that was pulling in the example app test. And what does this do? This doesn't use failing tests at all. Interesting. Okay. I think I'm just going to move this into the tests folder for now. And if we can look later to see if we think the examples are worth having a separate. Hey, Bill Broadcast. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Okay, so example app. And what did test examples need from example app? The model and the view. So let's only expose that. Example model and view. Okay, keep that tightened up. Yeah, it can be definitely tedious to find the typo. I don't know. Do you all use those editor plugins that like highlight the matching brackets in different colors? I used that in Emacs a bit. What would that be called? Like rainbow brackets or something? Here we go. Yeah, let's try this out today. Actually, what is indent rainbow? Ooh, interesting. Let's try that too. And rainbow string? Oh, okay. I don't think we want rainbow string. Rainbow theme. You don't need that. Nature syntax? That's just a theme. Okay. Let's try rainbow brackets and see if we can avoid any typos or if this just makes things hard to read. All right. Let's see, Arkham. Oh, you've been spoiled by Elm format. Yeah, I think there's been other languages. I guess in JavaScript there's a couple formatters now that are supposed to be like low zero configuration code formatters. Yeah, it's interesting to see other languages start to consider similar approaches. Okay, so what did we just do? Okay, we pulled an example app, so hopefully now, well, we should get a little farther. Okay, test HTML event is not pulled in, and that is from right over here, I think, test HTML event. Great, so I think we just want to pull this whole folder over, and that'll go into source test. Great, so this should go here. Oops. Well, where did it go? No, you don't want to drag? Huh. I guess it would let me drag files, but it doesn't want to let me drag folders. Okay, let's do this in Finder then. And over here, we will get this up. Searching for some web dev streams. Cool. Yeah, today I'm kind of doing some like more deeper technical stuff to update one of the core testing libraries for Elm. But definitely future streams. And actually, my YouTube channel has some videos from, what, maybe 2 years ago. I was doing a series of doing some quick creative coding exercises every day for a month. So yeah, my stream is going to be kind of a mix of sometimes like core Elm libraries, sometimes making apps in Elm, sometimes experimenting with other languages. I guess kind of like whatever I'm feeling like is most interesting at the time. And yeah, also trying to contribute to the Elm open source community. Let's see. Okay, so here, source test. We want this folder to contain our test HTML stuff. Boop. All right. So how's this going? That didn't seem to do anything. Source events could not import test HTML event, which this file, it should be this file, test HTML event, and this is in source test HTML event, so that's in the right place. So then the question here is, how is this building stuff? This is running elm make, which is elm 19. It's going to use this. Ah, I see. Oh, I see. The source directories is the source folder. And in this case, we are referring to this library. Oh, this is going to get kind of messy. The way these tests are set up for this project is kind of convoluted. So how does this script work? This script removes the compiled Elm. It removes the Elm stuff. It removes the Elm home. Then it makes the Elm home folder. It makes the package folder. This is the package version of the Elm test library that we're editing. Like, we're working on elm-explorations test version 1.1.0, which should match what's in this top level Elm JSON. It does. Whoops, it didn't keep the file open. Okay. Then it basically is going to clone our working copy of the test library into this fake Elm home. So it should be doing that. Oh, I see. So the problem is going to be that we're not exposing these modules, because for the purposes of this test, all these modules are going to be accessed as if they were part of another library. So that means in elm.json, we need here to expose these other modules. So test HTML event needs to be listed here. I think that's the problem. Yeah, okay. Interesting, okay. But this is going to be a problem down the road, because a lot of these tests are referring to private modules that shouldn't actually be exposed in Elm test itself. So that's going to be a problem. Like elm-html query is something that we don't actually want to expose as part of this library, but the tests depend on it. Okay, so I guess we can deal with that later. Let's just try getting things compiling first, and we'll see where we get. I guess once we get to that point, then we can look at the list of things here that we don't actually want to publish publicly, and then we can start removing those one by one and refactoring the tests to use public APIs instead of testing internal private components. Okay, so I guess we should maybe make a to-do list then. So first, we are going to get tests to compile. Then we are going to one by one remove things we don't want to publish from elm.json and fix up any broken tests. So this will be to-do.md. Cool. Well, let's see. You've tried switching a Python project, to use black. Interesting. I haven't heard of that one. Python black. Ah, the uncompromising code formatter. What was the pushback you got from that? Let's see, is there an example? Implies uniform formatting. The rules do whatever makes PyCode style happy. Interesting. Yeah, and like I looked at Rust format a bit when I was writing Elm format, and I think one of the problems with it is that it doesn't, like, it's hard to describe the rules that it uses. It kind of does different things depending on how long the lines are and how much things are indented. So like the same expression might be formatted very differently. So for Elm format, I tried to like make sure there's a set of consistent rules that are always applied and have it as little as possible depend on like situational things for a particular chunk of code. Cool. I need a way to like bookmark stuff to come back to later. That's a funny logo. All right. Guess I will star this to other bookmarks. Okay, done. Interesting. Yeah, keep spaces around name parameters. Ah, I see. Yeah, I think for Elm format, certain things have had some pushback, but almost every case when there has been that, when the people who have tried the other way for a while ended up either not really caring or liking the existing way better once they tried it. But I guess the hard part is to get people to try something different than what they're used to. Okay. So I feel like I'm starting to lose focus a little bit. I think our next task is to grab elm-html query, which I believe is from one of those other packages. So I think before we do that, let's take a short break and come back in a couple minutes. Let's see. I just wrote this countdown script earlier. So let's try 6 minutes. I'll probably be ready sooner than that. But let's take a short break, and then we will come back to continuing on this and grabbing the next chunk of code to pull into this project. So see you shortly.